Hi guys, this is Audra from Rankin Dragon channel, and I just wanted to give you an update on my mini greenhouse that I have here, and an update on my tomatoes. Stay tuned at the end of the video. You'll see how I trellis my tomatoes and what those tomatoes are actually looking like now. They're very, very cool. And I want to show you some things that I've done with this greenhouse that trial and error. I learned, you learn from your mistakes, and I had some with this. The lights that I had, I bought at Lowe's, and they were these stick lights, and they were about 20 bucks and a piece, and they had these clear covers. Let me get these clear covers that kind of went up over the lights. It kind of diminished your light. You didn't get as much. And I learned that Walmart has these strip lights that are longer, like 24 inches, and they have clear strips instead of these kind. And they're like $10.97. So it's crazy that I guess I get considered that I got burnt on the lights, but my I'll show you on my lettuce. My lettuce was having a lot of difficulty, and plants were stretching, and things weren't doing good under the lights. And I switched and put the longer lights in, pulled these little strips off, and my plants are doing so much better. And then of course I pushed everything up as far as I could possibly go towards the lights, and lighting was a big issue of the problems that I was having. But I'll show you what I've got. At this point, it's a big jumbled mess, so I'm very sorry, but it's just the way it's got to be at this point. This is the Praxis tomato. Little baby's coming up. So cool. And I'm not sure what Ray gave me. I asked for either Praxis cherries or Romas because, you know, my daughter's name Roma. I thought that'd be cool. So he sent me a little square with the seeds on a paper towel. So I'm not sure. He didn't label what those were. So it is some type of Praxis tomato. I don't know if it's the Roma or the cherry, but we will find out whenever it's done. And they're doing good. And those I'm hoping to transfer to the garden later. Rosemary was still tiny. These are little bitty rosemary seeds that I had in there. Very, very tiny. Lemon mint. One thing I realized, I didn't plant enough to start out. I wasn't sure how much I was going to have, so I did very tiny little starts. And I realized to sow more seed, per se. This is Luke's blue tomato. They are doing fantastic. That's going to be so cool to see what those look like in the garden later. I'm so jazzed about those. And then this is my tomato cuttings from my Arrow Garden in there that I'm going to show you later. They're getting a little bit bigger, filling up the cup. I have switched to, well, they didn't have any fertilizer on them for a while. I was just using like my leftover aquarium water. Now I'm using fish emulsion, and God almighty, that stuff stinks like you wouldn't believe, but it really, really does good. You can hold your nose for 2 days. This is where my room where my computer is, so it's like, hold your nose when you're on Facebook. But other than that, it works great. And these are, what are these? These are Luke's pepperoncinis that he gave me, that my daughter is crazy about. So I can't wait. I'm going to put those out in the garden later. Those are doing fantastic. This, I think here, is just another one of my peppers from my Arrow Garden. It's gotten big. It's another little mini jalapeno. This is just one of the other. Oop, there went my water jug. At least it was empty. And this is another tomato off the Arrow Garden that I got. That's in there doing good. And then let's see. These are my Brussels sprouts. People, I went crazy with these Brussels sprouts. I put in not enough seeds at first, and so I thought, well, I'll sow quite a few Brussels sprouts. Well, now I've got like a whole ton of these Brussels sprouts, and I do not know that we're going to eat this many or be able to put all those in my garden. So these are going to the in-laws, some of these, and see if they're going to have some Brussels sprouts. My scallions, I don't know if you can see, I'll try to lift up the tripod. They are back in that yellow pot back there and to the left, and those are scallions that are coming up. Okay, and then here's where I learned my big lesson on the lights. Let me show you here. this is where I learned most of my lessons here. Let me see if I can do this. If you can see in here, it's kind of hard to see. This back here was very, very spindly. The lettuce turned out very, very spindly at first, and it was hard. See, this is very difficult for you guys to see. It was coming up really tall and stretched till I added more lights. Then when I added more lights and I put it in, I sewed some more. This is red and green lettuce, and it's coming up just in big bunches. Like it needs to be thinned. I don't even know what to do with like all this lettuce. I need to thin it and see what I can do with it. But once I got the lighting correct, it made a big, big difference. I've got my mini hydroponic unit that I have it sitting on the shelf right now instead of the sunny window because it's kind of dull and rainy outside, and there's past few days and there is no sun. So I've got it sitting here waiting to germinate. These are sunflowers, and that was a great idea, but I think they're going to get so big before they go outside. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with them. But I've got like 4 different varieties of colors, and the one with the white seed was in the middle, so I'm hoping that'll be the white sunflower. I'm not exactly sure how that would work, but we'll see. This is my forget-me-nots that I planted around Valentine's Day with those takeout cups, and I had given those away and I had extra forget-me-nots, so I put them in this cup. I'm going to transplant those outside later this spring. This is the cilantro, and this is back when I didn't have proper lighting, and it was like real stretchy, and you can see it just kind of stretch out funky, and I didn't get very many, so I just kind of left that for now because I'm not really needing cilantro right this second. But this is my strawberries, which I didn't plant a lot at all because I didn't know if they would even make it. I wanted to try, so I've got little clumps of strawberries. And then back here in the back in that blue pot is carrots. Okay guys, we're on the bottom shelf of my mini greenhouse, and this is some more lettuce, but this time I did it properly. Try to space it out in rows and do it the way it should be. And this is my black seeded Simpson. See, everything is growing nice and uniform. It's not like real tall and spindly, and everything is looking really good, and it's not quite as bunched together as the other. So we're going to have a ton of lettuce, but that's fine. I needed to learn. And then this is my tobacco. I've got the tobacco growing. It's doing really, really good. If you can see the tobacco. But it's just little bitty babies, but I've heard that tobacco loves like pot ash, so I put a little bit of ashes from the wood stove in there. And I've been using, like I said, the fish emulsion, and it seems to be doing really good. And I wanted to show you something on this cactus. Here guys, if you can see this, let me pull in. I'm going to have to pull it out a little bit too. On these Mickey ears that we did, let's see if you can see this. I don't know how we need to pull back to get that. But anyway, these little guys that had the hidden Mickeys, look at the bumps on top of the ears that are growing up. They're little extensions of the cactus that's growing. So that was really cute. That was a neat surprise. Okay guys, I wanted to show you something really, really cool. This is my Arrow Garden 7, the one that has tomatoes. And this is, down here is the peppers, which it's still, if I pull back just a little bit, it is still about, it's still shorter than the tomatoes, but it's still healthy. It seems to be growing well. I did transplant one of the little babies out, and which is doing fine. And then I also have another one here that I can start later in another pot. I wanted to show you that, let me pull back, or pull in. And this is the Shorty that was shorter than the others. And Shorty has grown up, and he is as tall as the other one. He has flowers on this one as well as this one over here. And this one I want to pull in and show you. This is where we had the flowers at the last video, and I want to show you, if I can get in here, that I have these nice big green tomatoes. And I want to see if you can see this. It's going to be hard for me to lift it up. I have one right here. You can see that right there. And then I have one, actually I have two right here, if I can turn that. So I have 1 and 2 right there. So I have 3 right there. Lots more flowers up at the top, and with the tripod I don't know if I can angle it right to show you, but up here at the very top, underneath here, there are some flowers coming up. And then on this side I have, let me pull back, I have more flowers at the top here too. So hopefully I'll get some more tomatoes, because just having 3 is just enough to like whet your appetite and drive you crazy if you don't get any more. But 3, you know, is better than nothing. My first attempt, it was awesome. I'm going to at least have some tomatoes. I love just touching the leaves of these things. Is just amazing. I have all my cuttings from the other sides, from the extras, and those will be going out in the garden this summer, so that's going to be fantastic. I made a trellis. Let me pull back. This trellis, I was inspired by Jake, the Ontario gardener. Thank you so much, Jake, for the idea. He has something similar. I'm not exactly sure what version of toy that he has used, but he has used some type of toy to make a trellis. And this is like an old off-brand Tinker Toy set or whatever that I had, and I used it to make a trellis in the back. And then I just tied my tomatoes to it, if you can see up there in that little corner, with pipe cleaner. So it works really good. It holds them up. They're doing great. And I just need to maybe trim these out a little bit so that they start to branch in maybe here instead of branching so much up. I have taken the arrow garden as far as it will go. It's actually up farther than it should be. I pulled it up past the last hole and shoved something in there so it actually held it underneath the support. So it actually got maybe about 2 or 3 inches taller than it should have been, and raised it up. But at this point, that's as tall as I can get it. And I do have, if you look up here, you always wonder what this poster is. It's my poster of Johnny Depp and the Pirates. But I do have another grow light up there. So I don't know if that would be strong enough. I don't think that would be strong enough to, in my smartest cat clock, I don't think that would be strong enough to grow these tomatoes. But right now I've got them here. I'll probably have to do some trimming in here to figure out a way to keep them in this system. You got to use a little bit of ingenuity with these, because you kind of got a very limited space and you have to fit them in there. But it's really cool that I have tomatoes, and I told you that I would show you whenever I got a trellis, and the trellis was kind of a neat little thing, and it works really good. So thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, and checking on my update, and I hope to talk to you later. Bye, guys. Have a good day.